Now, our next product is the CUBE X1. So from the CUBE X1, you can see actually the design is very similar like our CUBE R1, just a half 2U size, the touch screen, and also physical buttons. So from the touch screen, you can see there will be a kind of menu here you can select either to go to the dashboard, the control panel, or system settings. And from the corner, you can see there will be the QR code, and also you can switch the language. So let's go to the dashboard first. With the dashboard, actually, we will also display the basic information, the traffic, the network traffic, and also the status, how many inputs and outputs here. And also the control panel. So actually, if you want to configure the control panel, you will need to log into the web UI first to manage your inputs, your outputs, and also you can select different control panels, or you can set your own control panels further. And then after setting all those control panels, then you will have a kind of control panel or the template list. Later, I will show you how to operate that on the web UI, but here we just show you some of the basic information, so you will easily get the inputs, the outputs, and for this part, you will be able to switch between the inputs and outputs. So for the input part, you can see we actually have 16 inputs. That means our CUBE X1 can support up to 16 inputs. And also for the outputs, we can add as much as 32 outputs. As we previously mentioned, that will be the virtual outputs. So we can create whatever or how many numbers of the outputs as you wish. So with the input parts, we can easily preview all those video sources. So if we touch the screen, then we can get it to the full screen to preview all those NDI sources. And at the same time, if we select the inputs, then also we will show the status, how many outputs are now using these inputs as well. And at the same time, for example, if I choose one of the outputs, for example, the output number 1, currently with the physical button here, we will see the number 1 button is displayed with a kind of green indicator, while from here, the touch screen, you can also see the green frame. So we can, after select this output, we can switch to, for example, number 2. Then that means the output number 1 is now using the number 2 inputs. Or if we choose number 3, then also at the same time, this will change and this will also change. So that's very convenient and very easy to operate. Well, at the same time, you can see there is a small button with the audio. So if we choose this, then we will see, probably it's not very clear, but we will also show you the view meter and all those information. Here, there will also be a menu with the playlist. So we can easily add the playlist on our web UI. Probably later I can also show you. And if we go back, then there will be settings, and we can enter the password to get access to the settings. And there will be network settings, the SS config, HTTP port, password, and also screensavers. Of course, that means if you turn on it, then we will lock the screen after a few minutes. You can select whatever, how long time you want to save the screen. So that's very basic information, and later let's take a look of our web UI, and there will be more information. Now, let's take a look of our CUBE X1 web UI. So same as our previous mentioned, the CUBE R1, we can also get access to the CUBE X1 web UI through the IP address. And also from the CUBE X1, we will also see the dashboard, the information with logs, with the status, the system, CPUs, memories, and also the network bandwidth situation. Most importantly, the core part is the control panel. If you are familiar with our the NDI Core as the CUBE X1 actually is the turnkey solution of our NDI Core. So if you are familiar with the NDI Core, then you probably notice we will have this kind of input-output management. But with the CUBE X1, actually we have upgraded these parts. So with the NDI inputs, we will be able to manage it directly from here. So we can label all those NDI sources from number 1 to number 16. That means we can add up to 16 different sources, and we can name it or adjust the sequences with all those NDI sources. And if we want to add any of the NDI sources, then either we can automatically discover, or through the manual adding, we can also add all different NDI sources here. So already we have added several inputs, and if we click OK to save it, same as the NDI Core software, we will be able to manage or add the playlist as well. And for the outputs, we can create or add different NDI outputs. So it's the same thing. We can add another NDI output, and then we can create different groups or add all those basic information. So we can add outputs 1, 2, 3, 4, or we can add batch adding all those different NDI outputs. So that will be very convenient to operate. So after adding that, then we can see there will be either the I/O panels with the preview. Here probably is because of the laptop, the preview is not available yet, but according to our design, we will be able to preview all those NDI sources. And for the cross-point mode, then you can also manage that as well. And also we can save all those panels. We can name it, or we can, for example, now we name it, and we can add another one to save with different name, or we can cancel the switching as well. So that will be very easy to operate. And also for the output parts, we can stop it, and then we can also easily to start or stop those kind of things. And also we can lock it or unlock it. So there will be more functions for your operation, but further probably we will have more detailed explanation videos to explain all those details for you. And for the playlist, as previously we mentioned, there will be control panels with playlist, and we actually can add the playlist here to select. We can name it, for example, number 1, and then we can add to it with a different time duration. For example, we can play this for 1 hour and save. Okay, and then we will keep running this video, and also we can add another we can add it. We can add another source here and here. So it will continuously play number 1 source, and then to number 2 source, and save. And then there will be a kind of playlist, or we can add more playlists. And then from the web UI or from the small display, the touch screen, you will be able to see all those playlists. And also other network management, user management, logs, and also the basic about information we can also use here to upload the firmware to upgrade the units, as well as manage all those different, we can refresh or log out the units as well. So that's the basic information about the CUBE X1. Actually, I'm just showing you the basic information to give you an idea, and further we will have more detailed videos to explain the products.